Some of the best plugins that you can add to your server are the ones that are going to create something for your players to do. And depending on the type of server that you're running, events that instigate a PvP type of scenario are probably the best ones. That's what most players come into Rust to do, is for PvP. Some people come in just for the raiding, some people come in just for the building, but a majority of your players are going to come into your server to fight other players. So to that end, I'll be introducing you guys to a plugin today that is being released like as we speak. So by the time you're watching this video, this plugin should be available from the Umod website. If it is, I'll update the link in the video description so that you can get to it really easily. But just know that at the time of the recording of this video, it isn't publicly available yet. I got it directly from the developer. But as long as everything goes okay, it's going to be available to you guys by the time you're watching this video. Hey everybody, welcome back to Rust Admin Academy, where I teach you guys the very best tips and tricks to owning and operating a successful Rust server. On this channel, I do a lot of plugin reviews and tutorials to hopefully show you guys some of the different things that you can do with your servers. So if you're brand new to the channel, consider subscribing so that you stay up to date on everything that we're working on, and turn on those notifications so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. So the plugin that we're talking about today was written by Basil. It's going to be available from the Umod site, and once it's released publicly, you will see it on this list that you're looking at right now. This is Basil's profile right here, and you'll see all of the different plugins that he's created for the Umod site. The plugin that Basil is going to be releasing on the Umod site is called Guarded Crates. And basically what it does is it's a server event that is going to happen automatically on your server, where a plane is going to fly in like you're used to seeing right now, but instead of dropping a supply drop, it's actually going to drop a locked crate. And of course, it's going to fall down from the sky like they normally do. And once it hits the ground, it's going to be surrounded by scientists. Those scientists are going to defend that crate until you kill all of the scientists. And then once that's done, then you can have access to the crate. Now, obviously, this is going to create a very good PvP environment because lots of gunfire, plus it's announced in chat, so everyone's going to know where this event is happening. So on an incredibly low pop server, this is going to be a great way to give your players something to do while they're waiting for other players to start populating your server. If your server is already populated, of course, this is going to create that PvP environment where people are going to fight over what's in the crate, and they're going to have to fight the scientists to get in there. And this is essentially what it's going to look like once the event has actually started. So as you can see, locked crate surrounded by scientists. All right, so that's what it actually looks like once it's actually working in your server. Let's go in and I'll show you how this plugin actually sets up. So once you actually have access to this plugin, you'll simply drop it into your plugins folder just like you would any other plugin. And as soon as it compiles, it's automatically going to create a config file as well as a data file. And we're going to go through each one of those here really quick. The configuration file is super simple. Basically, do you want this event to automatically trigger? Yes or no, true or false? By default, this is set to true. And then the second option is how long do you want the plugin to wait before it triggers another event? Default is set at 1800 seconds, which translates to 30 minutes. So now if we go into our data folder and open up the guarded crate data file, this is where you get to configure how each one of the events actually functions. So the events are broken into 3 different difficulty levels: easy, medium, and hard. And you can configure each individual variable for each difficulty level of event, which basically translates to how hard is it going to be to get to the loot, and then how much loot are they going to get once they actually get past the guards. So what you're seeing on the screen here right now, these are completely default settings. I haven't changed anything yet, but as you can see, if we have a look at the easy section, you can control how many NPCs or scientists are going to spawn to guard the crate, what their health is at when they start out, what's the max distance that they're going to roam around the crate, how aggressive they're going to be. The bottom 3 lines there are dealing with the loot that's going to be inside the locked crate. By default, this is set to false, which basically says don't use a custom loot table. We're going to get into that in just a second. So in this case, if I left this just the way it is, it would use the vanilla loot table for the locked crate. How many items do you want to spawn inside the crate? And then this section down here is how you create a custom loot table. Like I said, we're going to get into that in just a second. A couple of other important variables that I'd like to bring your attention to: the event duration. So that's basically from the time the crate hits the ground, how long is it going to remain on the ground or on the map before it automatically despawns or ends the event and then starts the timer for the next event. By default, this is set to 800 seconds. Of course, you can go shorter, you can go longer, doesn't matter. I just realized I wasn't zoomed in far enough there for you guys, so that was probably pretty hard to see, but you'll get the idea. The auto hack toggle, basically what that means is once you've killed all the scientists that are guarding your crate, do you want the crate to automatically start the hack, or do you actually want to have to go up to it and actually initiate the hack? By default, this is set to true. So after you've killed all your scientists, the hack will automatically start. And down below that, it will take 60 seconds in order for the hack to be successful. So even after you've killed all the scientists, you still have to wait another 60 seconds. You of course can make this shorter or longer, whatever is going to work for you on your server. If you don't want your guards to be wearing scientist suit, you of course can create your own kit for your guards. You can also change their name. So like I said, this is broken down into 3 difficulty levels. That was the easy section that we went over right there. The medium section is the exact same setup, so you have all of the same options. You of course can increase your difficulty. By default, it's already harder than the easy one is, but you can make it harder, you can make it easier, whatever it is that you want to do. If we go down to the most difficult section, you will see down below here, Basil has actually taken it upon himself to create what the loot table needs to look like in order for it to actually function properly with this plugin. So by default, he set the hard event to use the custom loot table, and then it shows you down below what the loot table needs to look like in order for it to actually function. And you can literally put in whatever in-game items you want to spawn inside this locked crate once it unlocks. Just make sure you're following this syntax for each one of your individual items. So once you're satisfied with how your configuration is set up, you want to go in game, and there's only one permission that we have to deal with this plugin, and that permission basically allows whichever player or group of players has this permission granted to it the ability to trigger the event from starting or stopping. Like you saw in the configuration file, it is automatically set to start on its own, but if you have this permission granted, you're able to manually start it or stop it. And the only command that I know that is available for this plugin, there might be more, but I don't have any documentation on this plugin yet, so I don't know that for sure. The only one that I've figured out so far is /gc. And as you can see there, it brings up very simple options, /gc start or /gc stop. So once everything is all set up, as you can see, a plane has spawned on my server. And as soon as it drops a crate, it'll say in chat, it'll tell everyone in chat where the event is going to begin. And that'll happen as soon as it drops a crate. So there you go. It just dropped a crate. And as you can see in chat there, high value loot at Q25, eliminate the guards before they leave in 13 minutes and 20 seconds. So like I said before, it drops just like a supply drop does, but it's a locked crate instead. And if we go down to the ground right below it, you'll see we have a circle of scientists that are waiting for the locked crate to land. Once the crate's actually on the ground, you can go ahead and start killing scientists. Alright, so I'm down to my last scientist here, and you'll notice as soon as I kill this last scientist, the crate will automatically start hacking. Just like that. And I don't know if you caught it, but it did say 15 minutes at the very beginning there, and it immediately changed it to the 60-second timer that I would have expected it. And as soon as the timer reaches 0, of course, we can then access the loot, same as you would on any other locked crate. And because I didn't change the loot table at all, I would expect to see not much more than this inside the crate. So this is just taking information from the vanilla loot table, because that's all I have on this test server is vanilla loot. There's no loot controller at all. If this were a difficult event, it would pull from the loot table that was created by default from Basil inside the configuration that I showed you earlier. And you can of course do that for easy and medium as well. You just put that in there so that you could follow the syntax and make sure that you got the syntax correct. So one thing that Basil and I both agree on is that Rust in itself needs to have more events. We've got the attack heli, we've got the CH-47, we've got the rigs, we've got the cargo ship, we've got stuff like that. I think we need even more events, and this is essentially Basil's version of just adding another event. It's designed to create PvP for your players. It's designed to get them more loot, maybe a little bit easier, maybe a little bit quicker than having to go do rigs or whatever. I think this is a really great addition to the game. I think your players are really going to enjoy you having this plugin. It's free. It's going to be available from the Umod site. Like I said before, I'll put a link to it as soon as it's available. I think this plugin's pretty cool, but I want to hear what you guys actually think of this plugin. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're going to actually use this plugin on your server once it's available. All right, that's it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you do me a favor and smash that thumbs up for me. If you'd like to help keep this channel online, make sure you check me out at patreon.com/srtbull. As soon as you become a Patreon, as long as you've linked your Patreon accounts to your Discord accounts, you'll automatically get special permissions inside my Discord server. And of course, at the end of each one of my videos, you get your name listed at the end, just like these guys are right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I put out a brand new video every Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, but as long as you have your notifications turned on, you don't have to worry about that. You'll get notified as soon as I upload a new video. So until next time, stay safe, take care of each other. I'll see you guys next Friday.